That's just really to give you what false witness looks like. Now let's look at Antichrist 2. Antichrist 2 is he who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. I've made this presentation in the previous video, or maybe the one before, but to just clearly lay it out so that way we don't miss. I know many times, again, like I said, this is usually associated with the birth of Christ, when Jesus took the human form. You know, what the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. We always associate that with this, but unfortunately this is misread. You'll see why. But the point is, in the flesh is not referring to him being born as a man, but in his saints, in his body. What his body, what is the church? Look, 2 John 1:7 says, for many deceivers are entered into the world who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. So antichrist number 2. Now look what it says, is come in the flesh, present, is come. It doesn't say Jesus Christ has come in the flesh, referring to what has happened. It was speaking in the present tense. This is after Christ has died and resurrected and has already ascended to heaven. This is long after. And it's come in the flesh. It's talking about coming in my flesh, in your flesh, if you have believed and have received of his spirit. Look for 1 John 4:3-4 says, and every spirit that confesses not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. This is the spirit of Antichrist. There it says, a deceiver and Antichrist, the spirit of Antichrist. Wherefore you have heard that it should come, and even now already in the world. But look what it says. Remember, context should be always our first point of reference. Verse 4. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome the world, overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. Greater is he that is in you. In the context, Jesus Christ come in the flesh is talking about coming in you. Remember, he was writing this to who? The saints, the body of Christ, the church. That's the one that he says, in his believers Christ dwells. Now let's quickly look through here. Romans 8:9. But you are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so that the spirit of God dwells in you. Now if any man have not the spirit of Christ, he is none of his. The spirit of God in you. Romans 8:10. I should have just put it together. But if Christ be in you, Christ in you. Christ come in the flesh. The body is dead because of sin. What? But the spirit is life because of righteousness. Christ in you. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self. So now you know your own self. How that Jesus Christ is in you, except you be reprobate. Christ in you. Christ in the flesh. In my flesh. In your flesh. Colossians 1:26-27. Even the mystery which has been hid from ages and from the generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. Who? His saints, to whom God would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you. Where? In his saints, in his body, the body of Christ, the church. Galatians 4:6. And because you are sons, God has sent forth the spirit of his son into your heart, crying, Abba, Father. Christ in you. Galatians 2:20. I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Colossians 1:24. Who now rejoice in my suffering for you, and fill up that which is behind of the affliction of Christ in my flesh for his body's sake, which is the church. Christ in my body, talking about saints, the church. Christ in me, in you, in the church. If you do not believe that Christ is in you and me, you are an antichrist. It's not talking about Christmas story, Bethlehem, the manger. It's not talking about that. John 17:23. I in them, and thou in me, that they may be perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them as thou hast loved me.